Every gambler knows that the secret to surviving.
I don't wanna take advice from fools who always won every time you placed a bet. Money, that's what I want.
I'm Joe Duffy, CEO of OffshoreInsiders.com. Another sports betting legend and myth is exposed. Well, sports betting is more than a share of urban legends. The spread of such tomfoolery is precisely how those lavish casinos are built. Among my favorites is the if-then construct when it comes to betting the side and the total in the same game. Now, let me quote directly from another handicapper whose identity shall be protected for his own protection. If you're a parlay-type player who likes to bet the total and side of a game, here is a piece of advice. So he says, if you bet on the favorite, take the over. If you like the underdog, take the under. Now, here's his justification. Logic behind this theory is simple. For example, when a team is favored by 7 points or more, with an over-under of 44.5, all you need to do is for the underdog to get ahead or stay in the game as long as they can, because the favorite is more likely to catch up and put some points on the board. The percentage is good to cover the over. As for the underdog, he claims, if they keep the favorite off of the board, the percentage of the under and dog covering is on your side. Now, the volume of this myth gets turned up more the larger the spread. It becomes at a higher decibel level if the total is disproportionately high or low on top of the expected blowout. Similarly, the common false rationale is that the higher scoring the game is, the more likely a blowout will occur, and hence the favorite is more likely to cover. However, if the game is lower scoring, the myth perpetuates the better the underdog. The overmatched team needs to, quote-unquote, control the pace and shorten the game, is what they say. End quote. Talk about great sports cliches. Now, on the surface, it does make sense, but only in theory. It does not hold any water in real-life betting. Now, I, Joe Duffy, CEO of OffshoreInsiders.com, conducted the same study with NBA games, but they mirror the fallacy-busting results that we're about to quote you in the NFL. But let's use the hardcore numbers from the most popular gambling sport, pro football. The database we use goes back to 1989. This includes regular and postseason games, so preseason NFL betting is not included. Now, the parameter, all NFL games, the presumed most common combination, according to the myth, would be the favorite and the over, which happened 1,326 times, or the underdog and the under, which occurred 1,403 times. Now, the presumed least common combination, according to the myth, would be the favorite and the under, which did occur only 1,285 times, or the underdog and the over at 1,348. Now, the conclusion, based on that general premise, is, okay, admittedly, the theory shows a scintilla of potential, as the favorite and the under happen only 91.5% as often as the underdog and the under, and this is consistent with the theory. But alas, the hypothesis falters as the underdog and the over proves to be more commonplace than the favorite and the over, disproving, quote-unquote, conventional logic. Now, despite the above quote originating from a tout, personal experience dictates the would-be expert buys it hook, line, and sinker with a large point spread. We report, you decide. Here are the results since 1989 on all games in which the line was at least double digits. Now, the presumed most common combinations would be favorite and the over, which occurred 171 times, or underdog and the under, which occurred 177. The presumed, according to this myth, least common combination, the favorite and the under, which occurred 169 times, but what is presumed to be very rare actually turned out to be the most common occurrence. Underdog and the over 194 times. So the conclusion, not only does the sports betting old wives' tale prove to be false, but also the results lean towards the opposite to be true. Counterintuitive, the underdog and the over are the most likely outcome in an expected blowout. So how about the large point spread in a game that's expected to be higher or low scoring? Hence, says the mythology, quote-unquote, controlling the pace becomes a prominent factor. So we decided to study double-digit spread and a total of at least 44 or higher in an NFL game. In other words, expected blowout, expected high-scoring game. To presume most common combinations, according to the myth, favorite in the over 46 times, underdog in the under 47. The presume least common combination. Favorite in the under, okay, was the least common barely by 63. But again, the underdog in the over the most common, easily and far and away at 62. Conclusion, same as above. Repeat, not statistically significant, but the only potential angle is to bet the underdog in over combination or parlay. Yet again, this is a complete refutation of the gambling folklore. Now, saving the best, or worse for last, what if it's a large point spread and a low total? Now, the grounds for this being my favorite myth within a myth is because I so often hear squares whine of the trepidation of combining a large favorite with the under. The apprehension originates from the anxiety over the fact that a fluke early touchdown or two can relegate one into rooting for a split at best. Let's give an example. This is what the square player fears. Let's say the point spread is 14.5 with a total of 33.5. Well, 2 touchdowns by the underdog early can make the favorite and under combination a mathematical impossibility. So what? In many mismatches, the underdog isn't likely to score multiple times. A good handicapper monetizes these opportunities. But we report, you decide. So we studied it. We're going to let the pure numbers decide for us. Double-digit spread and a total of 34 or less. Again, the two most presumed common occurrences: the favorite in the over 9 times, underdog in the under 7 times. The falsely presumed least common combination, according to this theory, favorite and the under 10 times, underdog in the over 11 times. So, completely reversed. Again, the sample size is small, but the results prove to be the polar opposite of, again, quote-unquote, conventional logic. Now, unfortunately, it's not actually an angle to directly monetize, but rather disproving a myth that has caused too many square players to bypass winning handicapping picks in lieu of believing fabrication. A good handicapper analyzes the side and total as separate entities, and the numbers justify why. Well, again, folks, you want logic that results in winners. There's one and only one place to go: offshoreinsiders.com. www.offshoreinsiders.com. Again, all the best handicappers and all the best sports picks. Follow us on Twitter as well. See those links. Pinterest, we have a page as well. Facebook, all the social media. Go to offshoreinsiders.com and see exactly how to subscribe to our various and sundry feeds. Again, offshoreinsiders.com.